Hey there YouTubers, so in this video we're going to install an i7 into this here AsRock B660m-ITX AC. Now, to be quite honest with you, this is a motherboard more deserving of a Celeron or Pentium, one of these. Okay, not really this guy, but we're going to take this is the RH1 Laminar Intel stock CPU cooler that goes with the i9-12900. We're going to use that on the i7 and see if that actually is an adequate CPU cooler for the i7. We know from what we saw with the i9 that this is not adequate for benchmarks. For gaming, you know, it might be. We definitely experienced different times thermal throttling and power limit throttling. Originally it was power limit throttling, then it became thermal limit throttling because this just could not handle the power limits being adjusted. So here we are, the i7, and we're going to try it out. Maybe this is adequate for the i7. Alright, so we're going to pop this out. Now, I noticed some of you, probably used to LGA 1151, 1200, whatever. You've got to, when we snap this CPU back in here, you got to actually put some force into it, folks, okay? Just so you know. It is not the same. Alright, so we have our i7-12700f there. The F means that it does not have integrated graphics. And probably could have did a better job of cleaning it up, but so we're looking for this triangle right here, triangle right there. You're lining that up. All right. Other ways to go about this: if your I/O shield is there on the left, we read left to right. Look at your text. That's one way. Grooves in here. There should be. Let's see. You can see one groove there. Another groove over here, one there, right? If you look in here, those are going to line up. So there's all kinds of ways to make sure you don't screw this up. Lo and behold, though, folks, people will screw up. Alright, so this guy here, it says once you put the CPU in, you can remove this, right? Unlike the old ones where this would pop off when you install it. You can just go ahead and get that out of the way now. Alright, so now, like I said, this is going to take a lot more force. Luckily we have a lot of force behind it. Boom. Just that easy, folks. That's in. Now, because we are using this guy, here's the base plate. This does have double-sided tape with it usually, but it's sitting right there, folks. It's stuck on the back. Yeah, there might have been an i9 in this before on the other channel. This channel, gets the B clips, if you know what I mean. All right, so that's in, folks. The back, that is. Now we're going to take this. This is actually threaded. You can see this is a lot better design than the previous crap that Intel's put out. We do have, we've already installed the RAM, 32 gigs of RAM. We need some thermal paste. I have this cheap stuff sitting around, but I think we'll go ahead and use this Arctic MX4 stuff. Now, this guy is circular, so we don't want to start doing, boom, 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 like some of your CPU coolers will recommend. So we're going to put a glob in the middle, maybe a little bit on the outside, and that is probably more than enough. So this stock cooler does have ARGB and a 4-pin. And it just so happens right up here are those connectors. let's go ahead and put this in. So this isn't the easiest thing to do because you can't really see very well. Depending on the motherboard, this one has pretty good access to view all around. And so I'm just honestly hoping that I get a couple of screws threaded. We don't want to over tighten any of these yet. So I'm pretty sure I at least got one. Oop, two. And I did not get this one over here. We probably could use a little more light here. So this motherboard, to be honest with you folks, this is an i5-12600 or less motherboard, okay? Really not meant for this CPU. Now, they will say, oh, it's compatible, but you're going to lose performance. If you care about benchmarks, right? If you don't care about benchmarks, then don't worry about it. Put whatever you want on here. Put an i9-12900K in here. As long as you have the cooling, it'll work. Is it ideal? No. Definitely not ideal. Alright, so I really need to find a better camera mount for cell phones, because no matter what I do with this one, seems like my hand's in the way. So a big improvement over the last design. If you've installed enough of these, you know that potentially you could end up with one of these not all the way in, and then go to run it and you're like, wow, this is a lot hotter than it should be, right? Well, it's because the bottom of the CPU cooler wasn't sitting nice and flush. So this new design kind of eliminates that. It's not really a new design. It's like they finally went with something that the industry does, right? But it's still a pretty simple design. Alright, 4-pin connector. This is the spot for the CPU fan. Boom, that's in. And now our addressable ARGB. Let's see if we can do this from this angle so you can see it. You want to come in completely 90 degrees to the surface, and you really have to be careful with these, folks. You will bend the shit out of them if you're not. Okay, so I was able to line it up by eyeballing it that way. Now I'm going straight down. Hopefully I'm going straight down, and that should be in. So this pin is already bent. One day they'll probably break off. The more you screw around with these, the more they're going to get wrecked. But that's pretty much it, folks. There's not a whole lot in this video we're doing. Now, this is going to go in a test bench type setup. The only other thing to put in here would be this M.2 right here. Samsung EVO. This is Gen 3. The slot will take Gen 4. Now the question is, where is the set screw that goes in here, folks? Yours truly has lost the set screw. Well, you guys can imagine if I had the little screw lying around, and I know it's on this counter somewhere blending in, that we would just basically tighten that in, right? Magnetic screwdriver. So that's going to end the video. I can't find the screw. I quit. And thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.